I'm Steve Hurley. I'm the chair of the local Democratic Party. I'm going to describe to you what my functions are, and I'll start with an overview of my many tasks. The first would be to chair the meetings, the monthly meetings of the local Democratic Central Committee. Another role that I have that I really enjoy is being spokesperson for the local party. Another role I have is overseeing our election configuration when we're actually out on the street, we're knocking doors, we're phone calling people, and we have this election configuration, a smooth operation that I'm responsible to help make it as smooth as possible. In a way, it's like the fog of war. In the throes of an election campaign, a lot of stuff just happens all by itself. You just wind everyone up and then hope for the best. So that's an enjoyable, active role that I play. Another role that I play is I oversee 2 Democratic clubs in the county. They each have their own professional staff. I mean, we're all volunteers. No one's getting paid. But I oversee the Tahoe Truckee Democratic Club with its board of directors, and I oversee the Nevada County Democrat Women's Club. And by oversee, I just mean I have to stay current with what they're doing and see if I can assist in any way. Another important role is I am the liaison to the state Democratic Party. And not to get into too much detail right now, but the party is its own animal, its own mechanism, and to understand that beast takes time. So I've had a lot of time in the trenches, and I'm able to interpolate what they generate and then apply it locally, given our unique local situation. So that's some of the several roles I play. You know, really for me, it's the people I work with that make this role so enjoyable. And principally among those people is what we call an executive committee of 4 other individuals. I'm the chair. You'll hear from the vice chair, the treasurer perhaps, and then we have these 9 committees that I keep track of as well. And so they all have a committee chair. So just to recap, we have myself as the chair of the local party. We have an executive team of 4 or 5 other individuals, and then we have a Democrat Central Committee. And in that committee, as a whole, we have 9 or so standing committees that are in perpetuity that help organize the local party. And then additionally, we have occasional ad hoc committees for specific purposes. They're usually short-lived, but just where we feel we need to fill some kind of a gap. So that's my role. It's understanding the big picture, interfacing with the state party, and all of the colorful personalities that you'll run into there. Now that you understand my official capacity, I'd like to explain a little bit about all the unofficial things that kind of keep the local party together and that I find to be so enjoyable. There's a lot of new people onboarding at this time, and we're hoping all the time, and they may not have as much political experience. They may or may not have any history of previous activism. So somehow we have to find a way to bring them on board in a way that doesn't waste their time and is efficient and that presents a nice look so that they'll want to stick around. People will stick around, if they're working with people that they enjoy, if they're doing things they want to do. And our job is to kind of make it work for the whole group. So what we have is a rather broad ideological spectrum of volunteers. Nobody's getting paid here. So we have in that broad spectrum people who sometimes disagree on the issues. But my job is to look past any specific disagreements on policy or issues and just see how we can onboard. It's like having a trawler and you're in the ocean and the waves are choppy. Conditions are always changing. And my job is to onboard as many people as possible into the boat. Let's just pretend they're fish. You put a lot of fish in the boat and they kind of flop around, figure out what other fish they like or don't like, and then in the end they'll join a committee or they'll find their niche. but it can be a bit of a messy process. So my job is to just respond to people's needs when they query me about, well, what is this compared to that, and you know, I'm confused about something. So along with the rest of the leadership team, my job is to make sure that the volunteers are used effectively. And the worst thing you can ever do with a volunteer is to ask them to hurry up and wait. And by that, they're ready to go, and now you've got nothing for them to do. So that's probably my most important job, is to make sure that if people come on board, they get used effectively and that they have a satisfying experience. And that defies any formal party process. You do have to have one in place, and I have just described that to you. But really, coloring between the lines and humanizing the whole thing is perhaps the most enjoyable part of my role. A last thing I'd like to mention is, you know, the Democrats, they occupy just a niche in what is actually an ecosystem of allied organizations and natural coalitions, other nonprofit trade and industry associations, or they may be nonprofit charitable outfits. But this is a community that has perhaps 150 different nonprofit organizations. And our role is to interface smoothly with all the others and see where we have things in common and where we can advance each other's agendas. And so in a sense, being the chair of the local party, I'm like a diplomat that gets around to some of these other organizations. And we also solicit for all those other organizations to come and present to us. So lately we've had something called a democracy workshop. And that's where a lot of the other community can come in and explain what they do. And then at times I go around and explain what we do. And so that's a very important role for the chair. But of course I'm also ably assisted by my vice chair and a number of other leadership individuals. We sometimes get into the local high schools and we explain our role in the governing process. And outreach is a big thing that I do participate in. So I hope this gives you some kind of an overview of the role of the chair of the local party. And I'm so happy that I am able to express this in a format that conveys what I do, because hopefully whoever comes next will take it much further than I've taken it so far. But you will not get any further without the support of the wonderful team that I'm so lucky and fortunate to have worked with. And so I really hope that you can take it as far as I've taken it, and then way further beyond.